The death battle community, for lack of a better word, is hell. People are constantly getting into fights and massive dramas happen over the pettiest shit like fucking Mario scaling. Yet, every now and then there comes an individual so detestable, so disgusting that the whole community gets their hands off each other's throats for a while and unify under their collective hatred of them. And very few of these people are as infamous as the one I'm going to talk about today. He goes by many names: Dylan T. Wozni, Ultimate Geigen, AJ Elementia, Jakob Kennedy Frost, or as he's universally recognized as, the Mechasonic versus Cinderfall guy. This is a story of the most hated man in the death battle community.
Yes, I believe. I believe in death. I believe in disease. I believe in injustice and inhumanity and torture and anger and hate. I believe in murder. I believe in pain. I believe in cruelty and infidelity. I believe in slime and stink and in every crawling, putrid thing, every possible ugliness and corruption, you son of a bitch! I believe! In you.
So, what do we know about Jacob? Too much, really. You see, unlike most people who understand the importance of privacy and just keeping things out of their online life, Jacob has a habit of telling people everything there is to know about him. We know his real name, we know where he lives, his age, his parents' names, his fucking IP address. And because of this man's tendency to reveal so much about himself, we have a lot more information about this guy than other infamous figures in death battle community, like Eric Hoverland or Kimi Moore or nostalgia critic Squidward. So, with there being a lot of info on him, it's hard to find a good place to start. But I guess we should just start with this man's first contact with the death battle community. Jacob's history with the death battle community begins the same way as many other people. He joins the community and starts to spread his most wanted matchup: Mechasonic from Super Mario Bros. Z versus Cinderfall from Ruby. Innocent enough, it's a terrible matchup, but nothing serious. But how Jacob promoted this matchup is what ticked a lot of people off. Now, Mechasonic's most popular opponent was Nazo from Nazo Unleashed, and Jacob despises this matchup. And for some reason, this also means he hates Nazo as well. He even went so far as to threaten people who liked Nazo versus Mechasonic on the Battle matchup subreddit. Meanwhile, in the Death Battle fandom, not fandom, fanon, he was acting and claiming ownership of the Mechasonic page on the wiki, being a dick to anyone else who made edits on that page, like even fucking minor spelling mistakes. Now, in case you haven't picked it up, Jacob is obsessed with Mechasonic to the point where it resembles less a person rambling about their favorite character and more deranged zealots cultists speaking of the gospel of their dark god. Fuck! The guy even went so far as to claim Mechasonic saved his life, which is honestly kind of hilarious. Shit really went wild when someone said they didn't like Mechasonic versus Cinderfall. Like, usually he went absolutely ballistic, saying stuff like the people who disagree with him are the filth of the earth, and how he was always right and incapable of lying because he was part of the Wozni family. Eventually, due to his behavior, he got banned from several circles of the death battle community. And now he calls the death battle community, get this, he calls them Nazis. Yeah, because that makes sense. We all know why Hitler hated the Jews. They all liked Mechasonic versus Cinderfall. So, time passed and more stuff about Jacob surfaced. For one, the guy has an enormous god complex. He doesn't even see himself as human and went so far to say he's a god. He claims to have committed suicide twice and was brought back by the universe somehow. I'm just gonna say this: if the universe brought Jacob back from the dead twice, then whatever god that rules it is not kind or merciful. Eventually, Jacob's behavior got worse, and he threatened to dox moderators of the Death Battle Matchup subreddit if he didn't become a mod himself. And Jacob even decided to do the biggest dumbass move of doxing himself and daring people to come to his house and kill him. Due to Jacob having such a widespread impact on the Death Battle community, the community collectively has Vietnam flashbacks of whenever they see Mechasonic and Cinderfall on the same screen. So, yeah, with that, it's no surprise that Jacob pretty much got banned from everything Death Battle related on the internet. But due to this lasting impression he had on the community, people with a sense of morbid curiosity sort of formed within people, and they started doing some digging, and that's kind of where we descend deeper into the rabbit hole. Uh, all right. Upon discovering more info upon Jacob, the Death Battle community found some weird stuff about the guy, like him supposedly having beef with people from the Super Mario Brothers Z fandom. For some reason, he's got a huge chip on his shoulder with Metalix replacing Mechasonic in the reboot. Like, he thinks it's some sort of act of blasphemy that Mechasonic got a new coat of paint. Also, for some reason, one of his hobbies is fucking UFO hunting. Like, I'm just imagining Jacob hiding in the bush in the middle, buttfuck nowhere, waiting for a UFO to just fly by. Now, with the goofy shit out of the way, let's get into the stuff that makes me want to puke. Turns out the guy was a nudist, and he has some really gross fetishes, like piss and diapers and all that scatological shit. Hell, he even wrote on his DeviantArt how much he loved how full it was. He even wrote a fucking Doki Literature Club fanfiction where he just indulges in these fetishes. I would read you a description, but that stuff makes me gag.
What would happen if the world of literature club did have elements of horror, but instead of porn, sex, nudity, and this? Will this comic series answer that very question? This universe is all about porn, sex, nudity, and this of the taboo kind. Watch the girls get pregnant, get beat on, get pooped on, get beaten, get pooped in, bring me, eat poop. Wear diapers, eating full dirty diapers, go out in public completely naked, and so much more.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
He also had a role play where he's Monica's brother and he does the deed with her.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
This degeneracy presumably got him banned from the DDLC Rule 34 Reddit and Discords. And his response to this was honestly hilarious. Son of a fucking bitch, those Nazis at the Doki Literature Club Rule 34 subreddit and Discord server banned me. Nazi coomers. Yeah, that makes sense. We all remember Hitler's famous speech where he pulled down his pants, jacked off in front of millions of people and said, "I my God, I'm going to coom." He also wants to be fucking flushed down the toilet. Add that to his list of gross fetishes. Eh. And he's a brony with a pony sona. On paper, that wouldn't be that bad, but knowing how disgusting he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the type that wants to fuck MLP characters. And now, like, for the cream of the crop, the absolute lowest Jacob has ever sunk. One day, while my friend was on Twitter, Jacob sent him a direct message containing a nude picture of himself. That friend of mine was a minor. It's not like he didn't even know the guy was underage. It said on his bio that he was a minor. And what was Jacob's defense to sending him fucking nude pictures? Most of his followers were teenagers discovering their sexuality. That was his defense. I'm pretty sure that sending him nudes is a crime that gets you put behind bars. And, like, here's the most surprising thing. Despite all of this disgusting shit, this guy has a girlfriend. There are no positive implications to Jacob having a girlfriend. He either groomed or she's just as crazy as him. There is no good ending for this. Now, some of you may be wondering, how the fuck does someone this disgusting come to be? Why, very simple. Jacob's mentally ill. Yes, I'm sure this may come off as a shock to some of you, but there's actually a reason for how he got to that mental state. According to Jacob, he had a rough childhood. His father and brothers were abusive towards him because he had Asperger's syndrome. And though his mother loved him unconditionally, she had Stockholm syndrome, and her relationship with Papa Frost could best be described as a hostage and kidnapper type situation. Ultimately, the straw that broke the camel's back for their marriage was Mr. Frost cheating on Mrs. Frost, and you can see that for someone with Asperger's, this isn't the healthiest environment for them to grow up. Because of the failure of his father, Jacob has now become the problem of countless people on the internet. Yet, despite his tragic backstory, I really couldn't feel sorry for the guy. Like, he's so revolting and has done so much bad shit that I honestly can't excuse it with the, he's mentally ill card. Well, that's about all I have to say about Jacob. I hope you enjoyed the video. Believe it or not, I actually wanted to make this video on Jacob for a while, like all the way back in like late 2021 or 2022. But it was more like looking into a specific incident and just laughing at Jacob's behavior. But because I stayed in my ass long enough for more info to come out, this video went from me just laughing at some guy to a sort of comprehensive history to Jacob / humorous commentary. Now, I wasn't able to talk about everything there is to talk about Jacob, but there is a pretty long Reddit post that sort of goes into detail about Jacob and his drama in the Death Battle Matchups subreddit. I'll link it in the description if you want to read it. Without further ado, this is Karza signing out. See you next time.